Hi, I'm Amy Hannon, and nothing thrills me more than people and food. I'm a preacher's wife, a mom of 3, and I own my own specialty kitchen store. I've kept an open door and a well-stocked fridge, which means I have fed a lot of mouths over the years. So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome. It's Cooking Today. And y'all, today I'm making strawberry pie. You know, I've ranked my favorite desserts in order. And you know, I'm a fruit girl. So I told you I love lemon, and then I love strawberry, and then I love coconut. And it is just summertime, and you just do that thing where you walk by the grocery store aisle and they smell so good, or your farmer's market and those cute little papery baskets. I just can't help it. They are so good. They are so easy to cook with and bake with and just to snack on and drop on top of your oatmeal. I mean, just whatever. I love them, and I have strawberry desserts coming out my ears, and this is one of my favorites. Strawberry pie, absolutely classic fresh strawberry pie. Now, there are strawberry pies that are actually baked. You've seen those, right? They actually are in a crust, and they're baked down, and the filling is all delicious and gooey and almost becomes like a strawberry preserve on the inside. But this is a fresh strawberry pie. So this is one that has the baked crust first, then is just full of beautiful, fresh strawberries. And so that is what we're doing today. So let me tell you what I've got going. I'm using a homemade crust simply because I had one in my refrigerator that I made a couple of days ago. And so I needed to use it, and so that's what I'm using right now. If you would like to use a Pillsbury or a store-bought pie crust, then you just go ahead. It is easy to do it that way, and there is no shame in that shortcut. You could also do this in a shortbread crust if you would like. That is just as good. But I have this pie crust that I needed to use. We will have a pie crust day, a homemade pie crust day, because y'all ask me about that quite a bit, either out in public or on our social media or in my store. Y'all ask a lot at Unimaze when I'm going to teach how to make pie crust. So I'll show you how to do this and all the tips and all that eventually. But today, I'm just going to show you that I'm doing it, and then we'll have a whole entire pie tutorial one day. But for now, what I'm doing is just rolling it out, and then we're going to blind bake. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm going to go ahead and get my oven preheated. Now, what blind baking is, this is very important for this kind of pie, is when you have a pie that you are filling, pardon me, I'm going to grab a little spatula to help scoop that up, is when we're making a pie that is, it's not a baked pie. And so, you know, like if you were to do a pumpkin pie, you could do the crust and then fill it, and then you bake the whole thing kind of all at once. But this is actually a pie where you need the baked crust first. The shell, you know, needs to be baked and nice and dried out, because all we're going to do is put fresh strawberries in it and then let it chill. So this is blind baking, which means we're going to bake our crust first and allow it to cool, and then we're going to fill it with all of our good stuff, and it's easy. But there are some tricks on that, and you would need to do this if you were using your store-bought pie crust as well. You would definitely need to know this little trick. So I have rolled my dough, and you know, the whole thing about pies in the first place is, to me, the more rustic, the better. There is no rhyme or reason on how this has to look. It's all gonna taste good. Don't you love pie crust? I always go around and look for the little nibble that's falling off that I can pinch on and eat. Oh, it's delicious. And so mine are a little free-form. Sometimes my dough tears a little bit, and you know what I do with it? Pinch it. Just pinch it closed and just kind of mend those little bits. Not perfect. You're going to have to just let go of all those Instagram accounts and stuff that you see that are perfect pies. Those are major professionals most of the time, and they've made about, I don't know, 8 million pies in their lives. For home cooks, you just need to lighten up, enjoy the process, and be perfectly fine with a little tear or a flub. It all tastes good. So I've got my oven preheated to 425, and I have my wonderful Unimaze Love Welcome Serve pie plate that I really like. It's the right diameter. You don't want a big, huge, deep dish pie plate for this. You want something pretty classic. And then I'm just going to make sure that I'm very well floured. And then I'm going to roll my crust so that it doesn't stick to each other, to itself as I roll. And then I'm going to roll it back into my pie dish and crimp it. And then it needs to freeze a little while. I don't know, as short as maybe 10 or 12 minutes, but probably longer the better on this. And by freezing it, it's going to keep your pie in place, your pie crust in place when it bakes, as opposed to falling down inside, which happens, it'll shrink. So I'm just going to roll this out, put it back in my pie dish and crimp the edges. And when we come back, we're going to start on our filling. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. I'm making a strawberry pie. Oh, y'all know how much I love sweets. Oh my word, and these are beautiful, and the strawberries are perfect right now. So let me tell you a little bit about our crust. You can use a store-bought pie crust. You could use a crumb crust if you would like, but I made a homemade crust a couple of days ago, and it was in my fridge. So I've rolled it, pinched it, kind of pressed it down inside, then pinched it, and then gave it a little docking, which is where you take a fork and you kind of poke some little holes inside of it. And all of these efforts just kind of help keep your pie crust from falling in when you bake it. Now listen, it's going to happen to everybody at one point, and it may even happen today. I'm not quite sure. But sometimes a pie crust falls in, but we're going to give it our very best effort for that not to happen. So after I went ahead and put this pie crust in the pan, I went ahead and froze it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Ideally, it needs to be in there at least 30 minutes or an hour. So we kind of rushed this process a little bit for today, but you know, cross your fingers. Now what we're gonna do, this is how you blind bake. I've got a sheet of parchment in my really cold crust. Parchment's been our friend, hasn't it? We use it a lot around here. And I have these neat pre-cut baking sheets at Unimaze. They are so handy. So I'm kind of pressing that in, or getting it started anyway. And then you want to weight it. You want to weight this crust before it bakes, and then that way the weight of it kind of holds the pie crust in place and keeps it from falling in. So I'm going to fill this with 2 pounds of pinto beans. This could be anything you've got in your pantry bean. You could do pie weights. You know what? I think I'm just going to do 1 pound. I think that's plenty. It filled it all the way up. You just want to be sure that the weight of the beans goes and fills the bottom and goes all the way around to the edges. And I've kind of pushed it over to make sure, and we don't even need this one. So this is going to go in our oven, 425, for about 10 or 15 minutes till the sides get kind of golden. And then we're going to pull this up by the corners, remove the beans, and then let it bake another couple of minutes just until the bottom looks nice and kind of dried out. Then we're going to set it on the counter and let it chill. Just kind of chill out and wait for us to get our strawberry filling ready. Okie doke. I see a spot that needs beans. Okay, so we're just going to put that in there, and let me set my timer, and then we will start on our strawberries. Okay, so about our filling. You know, we've got these beautiful strawberries that we're going to hull and cut up in just a few minutes. But there's that delicious, yummy filling that goes around the strawberries. It's kind of gelatiny and sweet and fills in all the spots and holds the berries together. And I am going to show you how I make mine. So this is easy. This is just 2 cups of water. And then we're going to do 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. And all this cornstarch does is kind of act as your thickening agent a little bit. and you gotta have it, so don't skimp on it. There are some old-fashioned pie recipes. There are kind of two schools of thought here on strawberry pie. I hope y'all are counting because I'm talking while I go. 3. Some people use only cornstarch. 4. Some people like that it's a little bit more of a purist flavor without the gelatin in it. 6, perfect. And then some people like the real sweetness of that jello gelatin, you know, inside there. I really like the gelatin, you know, in there more than just the cornstarch. So that's how I make mine. And it's really, really sweet. And I think it also just helps to kind of give it a little bit more of a gel consistency to it, which only serves to make it even, you know, hold even better. Because we do want to be able to slice the pie and have that really pretty piece. And the gelatin is the glue that kind of holds all of these loose berries inside. So I've got my water and my cornstarch, and it is globbing at the bottom a little bit, but it will loosen up as it heats. And we're going to whisk this. Now, what's really important for you to know is that this is going to get kind of cook and start to get a little bit clear, and then we're going to add our gelatin to it after that. But we do want to let this get a little bit of heat on it, and then we will whisk, 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 and it will start to get clear as we go. So good. It doesn't look like much right now, but it is about to be something awesome. Strawberry pie makes me think of like 4th of July and summertime and the lake. It's the color, all of it. It's so, so good. And I actually am doing a little bit of something different with my strawberry pie that my kids really love, and I'm adding in some blueberries, which just makes this look like such a fun kind of all-American pie. Love the color of the blueberries and that extra little bite that it gives. It's a really fun one. So what I'm gonna do is keep whisking this. Our pie crust is baking. Then when we come back, we will finish this up, and I'm gonna show you how we assemble this pie. I'm gonna start cutting on the strawberries too. This is Cooking Today.
Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton.
Experience the local sounds, sights, and taste of the Fayetteville Farmers Market.
Do you know the producer behind your food?
What about how far away your food was grown?
Local to us means your food is harvested hours before traveling less than 60 miles to our market.
Enjoy music, chef demos, and special events while you shop for locally grown produce, meats, cheeses, flowers, artisan crafts, fine art, and more.
Visit us Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the square.
The Fayetteville Farmers Market, 100% local and loved.
Hi, welcome back. We have got so many wonderful things going for our strawberry pie. So let me tell you, on the stove, I dissolved that cornstarch into that water. Remember that? And then I added 2 cups of sugar and then have stirred this until it's come to a really nice, thick, clear color. And now I am stirring in quickly 2 packages of jello. So this like strawberry jello with the sugar. I'm doing a little bit scant, not quite the whole entire package. Oh my goodness, look how bright and fun that is. Woo! And I'm just gonna give this a stir over this. Actually, I'm gonna turn the heat off. It doesn't need it because that sugar and water and cornstarch were so hot. And so I've just stirred in a package and a little bit more of another package of strawberry jello into our cornstarch mix. And what's important is that you need the sugar in that for it to set up. So don't get sugar-free jello. You're gonna wanna get the one that has the sugar in it. So look at this beautiful color. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And then this just needs to cool a minute. So I'm gonna let that just park and cool. And it's gonna thicken just a little bit more as it sits there. Okay, we blind baked our crust. Remember how we did that in the oven? I baked it at 425, still hot, 425, pressed that in, froze it so that it would get nice and firm before we put it in a really hot oven, waited with those beans. Then after about 15 minutes or so, I could tell that the edges, you know, with the parchment sticking out, I could tell that the edges were starting to get just a little bit of brown on them, like a little color. So with the parchment sheet in there, I took all 4 corners of that parchment and picked up the beans and scooted them over there and just let those beans cool. You can put those beans in a mason jar after they cool or in a Ziploc or whatever and use them again as your pie weights. It's not a one and done thing. You can just keep using them until they look bad. And so then I let this bake another, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes so that where the parchment was sitting on the bottom of the crust, it could actually get a little bit of the brown and dry out a little. Because when you pull those parchment, that little parcel off with the beans, it's going to still be a little wet because it didn't really get the heat. So we just let that finish up. So this is out and it's going to cool. Oh, it's pretty, pretty, pretty. And then we've got our cooling, yummy gel right here. Now, this is a little bit unique. It's what makes my strawberry pie, I guess. I just really love the brightness of a little lemon zest in with my strawberries. Just is so light, and it's just that little tiny bit of citrus. You know, the strawberries are super sweet right now. And so, you know, I'm always a fan of just the littlest bite of tart. And this zest just brightens the whole thing up and gives it such good flavor. So I actually have a huge lemon. This is a huge lemon. So I'm probably not going to zest the entire thing, but I have about a, I don't know, teaspoon or so, maybe a little more. And I just go ahead and whisk that into my gel here as it's cooling. I lied. I'm going to go ahead and do a little more. And then while we were in the break, waiting for all of this to kind of finish up, I went ahead and cut my strawberries. It's about a quart of strawberries. I kind of eyeball it. It's probably never quite the same, to be honest with you. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling and how they pile and how they don't pile. It's kind of different every time. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And I went ahead and just took whole strawberries. You know, sometimes they're little and I didn't even cut that one because it's tiny. And then sometimes they're gigantic and I quartered them. But we kind of want those into bites so that you can cut them and then you can eat them really easily. And then what I did do right here is pick some that are kind of a little bit more uniform in size and shape and just topped them and then halved them so that those can be the pretty ones that go on the top. So what I want to do, you could probably in real life at your house let this cool a little bit longer. It's pretty hot. It'll be fine, but you just might give it a little more time. So what I'm going to do here is put in some of these berries in the bottom. They're so pretty. Oh, they smell so good. It's hard not to like scoop some, eat some, scoop some, eat some. And as I go, I kind of just want to be tucking them in all the holes. This is what makes it really, really nice and dense and completely filled with strawberries. If you were not to spend some time tucking these, then you would have some big gaping holes in there because you know when they fall on top of each other, they kind of create chasms and all that. So you do want to spend a little time kind of intentionally placing these little cut berries. And then after, I'm going to kind of mound this really nice and pretty on the top and then take my halved berries and place them around with some blueberries. So we've created a really attractive top. And then we're going to pour our gel on. We're going to do all that when we get back. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. Look at this strawberry pie. So what I did while you were away is I went ahead and I poured in those halved and kind of cubed strawberries, tucked them into all those little spots so it's nice and full. And then after I kind of made sure, oh, and let me say this too, if there were too many of the white places in the strawberry or the insides, what was on top, I kind of turned those so that really all you see mostly is just the red, pretty outside skin. And then I placed some berries, some blueberries all around. Isn't that so pretty, that kind of extra little color? And then we have allowed our filling or our little gelatin mix to cool just enough that we can pour it carefully all the way around. And you want to be sure to kind of get every little bit. It just takes a little time, y'all, and it will just be perfect. We want that to go in all the cracks and crevices because this is the glue that's going to hold it all together. So I'm watching the whole time where this gelatin is going. I can watch it going down into the holes and filling up all those crevices because this delicious sugary strawberry glue is what's going to do the trick. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I got one that's going to go over. That happens every time. Ooh, it's pretty though. We'll just have to lick that one off. And so what you want to do is let this sit at room temperature till most of the heat just kind of comes off of it. You don't want to put it in the refrigerator right away. You want to just give it a little time to kind of set up at room temp. And then here's the bad news. It needs to chill almost overnight. I know, aren't you sad that we can't eat this? We're really sad we can't eat this right now. It needs to set up because it's got a lot of weight, a lot of girth, and a lot of fruit that has to be meshed together and melded together and held together by this gelatin mixture. And so allow it to sit at room temperature. Cool it in the refrigerator uncovered overnight. Make some of our delicious homemade whipped cream or Romanoff cream and serve it up. And you are going to love every bite. You will. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company. Kitchenware is provided by Una Mays. Groceries provided by Harps, Hometown Fresh. Online Elements sponsored by Fayetteville Farmers Market.